Hello everyone, welcome back to the Zekko Football channel. Fulham are looking to bolster their squad by adding winger and forward Lucas Ocampos. Today we're delving into how he could improve this Fulham setup. If you are new to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe, you like the video and turn on those notifications. But now without further ado, let's talk about how Lucas Ocampos improves Fulham. Lucas Ocampos to Fulham. Honestly, this is a signing that I did not expect. But I've got to say, I'm very, very happy about it. There are rarely these kind of signings that make me as excited as Lucas Ocampos does to Fulham. And I'm going to tell you why. He is just a box of fun. He's an absolute box of tricks. He's extremely dynamic. He is box office. He's a lot of box, okay? A lot of box. But really, when we talk about Lucas Ocampos, I think he's just got everything that a Premier League could need. He's very physical. He has the ability to drive with the ball. He's got defensive work rates to no end, and that's from being in that Sevilla side for so long. He's only 29, which means he's still got a couple of good years about him, and then he's still got that aerial presence that I think Fulham are desperately craving for, especially after losing Mitrovic. Let's have a couple of statistics, shall we? Successful take-ons. He is in the 82nd percentile for successful take-ons per 90 against players in his position, which is winger or central attacking midfielder in Europe's top 5 leagues. He averages 2.32 per 90, which is not bad at all. He's able to pick up the ball and then drive with it, something that a winger is needed in the Premier League and something that a forward also needs to be able to make himself that little bit of space. Successful take-ons bringing and taking players out of the game, allowing Fulham to really go forwards and progress with the ball. But again, one other aspect of his game, like I said, is his defensive work rate, his ability to really go back and defend, help his team out, to be able to create that low block and then bounce back up, to be able to really help out his right back or left back because he can play across the front three. He's just fantastic. Tackles in a game, he averages 2.27 per 90, and as a winger, that is crazy. Genuine. Guys, seriously, that's mad. He's in the 92nd percentile for that, and that just is brilliant when you're thinking that you have a forward or a wide player who has the willingness to be able to go back and help his team. It just makes their lives so much easier, and of course it helps out the fullbacks to no end, keeping pressure off that main back four. Again, aerially, we're talking about how tall he is, how physically strong he is, and it's something that I think he could really adapt and make good in the Premier League. He wins 2.22 aerial duels per 90. That puts him in the 99th percentile against players in that position, which is obviously fantastic. He can bring others into play using his aerial setup. Leno could then play the ball forwards, pass it over to Pereira, or even to Jimenez in this certain situation. In case you're wondering, this is the Fulham team that played against Arsenal in the setup. I've got him out on this right-hand side in place of Harry Wilson, but of course, he could play across the front line, like I've mentioned. He could play as a striker. He could even, if you want to, I don't think that this is something that Marco Silva would have really contemplated, but he could even play as a two-man striking unit. You could have him play off the likes of Jimenez or vice versa. He could play through passes from Pereira into Ocampos and then play it off to Jimenez, because Jimenez isn't exactly as physically dominant as Ocampos is, and I think that Fulham have lost something major in Mitrovic with his physicality and his ability to bring others into play, especially the time that it takes to be able to bring others and bring them up the pitch. Fulham are not going to have the ball continuously. They're not really a possession-based side, and for that reason I think that the physical aspect, especially when they're under pressure, is something that's going to be very, very much utilised. Like I said, Leno passing the ball forwards, or even Palhinha to a certain extent, playing at the base of a midfield, or even in a midfield double pivot. His ability to really go and find Ocampos in certain channels when Ocampos is willing to run is going to be absolutely essential to getting Fulham higher up the pitch. And like I said, when Ocampos is willing to run, he's actually got incredible stamina. I've seen him play 100 minutes of football and look like he's only played 2. He can breeze past players in an instant. Physically strong, very tall, dominating position. He's got a good foot on him. He can score. Yes, his numbers aren't particularly fantastic. He had a poor season last year with Ajax before he returned to Sevilla, but he's got European experience. He's got a real good look about him. I think he's Premier League ready. I really do. He can play in a system. He can play out on the left. He can play out on the right. He's got a number of different attributes to really help himself just play well in this Fulham setup. And it sounds daft. It does, but bear with me. It's not about the goals or the assists. It's about the goal or the assist before the assist, if that makes sense. It's about what he does before the goal. He could be running into the box and he could be a decoy run. He could be able to pick up a pocket of space because he's so tall. Players will need to give him the attention that he deserves. He could drive into space down the wing and then make sure that he's bringing a couple of players with him to give Jimenez that extra little bit of space. And as I said, he can play across the front three. Lucas Ocampos is just a player that I believe could have such an impact on this Fulham side, not only due to his physical presence, but he's also got immense quality on the ball. And in a side like Fulham, who are going to need to have the pressure taken off them on certain occasions, or have that little bit of quality, have a little bit of X factor. I think that's something that is missed and isn't talked about enough in Premier League sides. Sometimes you need someone to just do something unexpected. And let me tell you guys, Ocampos can do the unexpected. It's something that I think is a little bit of fun. £13 million is quite a lot, I do agree. However, I think he could pay that back, and if he's able to really make an imprint on this Fulham side pretty quickly with his physicality, with his ability to run with the ball, with his ability to run without the ball, I think you're going to see a real good addition to this Fulham setup. I think this could be a real shrewd piece of business. But my question is, what do you guys think about it? Fulham fans, talk to me. Everyone, let me know in the comment section below what you're feeling about this signing. But for me, it's a pretty good one. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, take care.